Okay, so I believe we are. Okay, so today I wanted to get a little bit more in detail about PDF Expert because it's one of the apps that's basically the main app that I use when doing real estate and actually even other things. But for the most part, this is the one app that I can tell you that has been a life changer for me. I've used it already almost 10 years probably, I want to say, and it just keeps getting better and better. So it's a PDF editor, and you can use it on your phone, on your, on your iPad or on your Mac. But like I said, because we're mobile, we're in the field, I like to use it on my iPad because it just allows me to do pretty much everything I need to do in real estate. Without having to carry any type of papers or anything like that. So always having everything that I need, in my laptop, or I'm sorry, in my iPad. So I'm going to share
Is it PDF editor or expert?
PDF expert.
Okay.
Yeah. And so let's see. Let me
Do you pay for the one that has more features? I know there's one that has more features.
Well, the thing is I actually, the one that I have, I got it so long ago that it was a flat fee at that time. So I'm not sure what it is now. I don't know. I know I've heard different things from different people as far as what the cost is. When I originally bought it, I paid $9.99, and that was the full price that I paid. And how come I can't share my screen? What's going on here? What do you guys see?
It says you are sharing screen. Maybe move away from that screen and it'll do it.
That's it, right? There we go. You guys see it? My screen now? What do you see now, Jeff?
And we see your home screen.
You see all my apps?
Yes.
Okay, so you see my home screen. Okay, perfect. So
okay, and just to let you guys know, I looked at the upgrade to the Pro version, and it's $49.99 a year.
Okay, so if they want the Pro version, which you don't need the Pro version, I don't know what the regular version costs, but you don't necessarily need the Pro version, just so you guys know that. So I'm going to show you. So this is what PDF Expert looks like. And I'm actually going to log in from my phone so I can make sure that I'm on the same page as you guys. Let's see. Give me just a second to do this. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is what PDF Expert looks like. So when you open it, it's like a dashboard. So this is what it says, your files. So on the left-hand side is where you're going to see a search option, which that magnifying glass or like a search option would allow you to, let's say you named a document something, then you can always put in the name, because once, eventually you're going to have a lot of folders. So it might be, tough going through it. So it's like a file cabinet is how I like to look at it. This is your actual file cabinet. And so let's just say you're looking for, Mr. Buyer, but you have so many, so you can put, Mr. Buyer, and then it'll pull up anything that says, that's named Mr. Buyer, to make it easier. You see that you have, again, the PDF Expert, and then you have folders, and then I'll get into showing you how you can sync it to any of the cloud devices, which are Dropbox, Google Docs, there's a lot of different ones. So just depending on what you use it for storage, you can use that as well. And then you have the, down here, if you notice, there's like 3 drop boxes, because those are my drop boxes. I have different drop boxes connected to it, but you can do your own. So what you're gonna do is, in order to use this, you know, to its fullest ability, let's just say, for instance, you have a, you know, a buyer that is interested in buying a home. So once you know that this buyer's been approved, the best thing to do is to create a file for this buyer. So that way you have their pre-approval in the same place all the time. So that way, let's just say, you know, your lender emails it to you today, and then, you know, it becomes, you know, an email from a week ago. And then I don't know if you guys save it already, or if you print it, or what exactly it is that you're doing with it. But the whole point is to store everything in one place and have it handy, so you're not having to search and find, you know, let me look for that email and trying to find where, you know, you did with the approval. So if you noticed at the bottom right-hand corner, there's a circle that's blue with a plus. So if you select that, it's going to ask you, what is it that you want to do? So I want to create a new folder. So I'm going to go create folder. So here it tells me it's untitled, so I want to title it. So I'm going to say that my new buyer's name is Mr. Buyer. So I'm just going to put Mr. Buyer here. Done. And so there is my folder for this new buyer that I'm going to be helping. So I'm going to go to my email, and I am going to find the new approval that I should have just received, let's just say from the loan officer, which let's just say this is it here. So I'm going to grab this pre-approval, because now I know this person is in fact approved, and then I am going to scroll and find where to send it. So you hit the arrow out at the top of the screen, the blue arrow out on the top right, and you're going to look for PDF Expert. So I'm going to scroll, and then I don't see it there. So then I'm going to select more in the white square, and then I'm going to look down and try to find PDF Expert. Once I find PDF Expert, I'm going to select it, and then it automatically takes him into my documents into PDF Expert. So if I go back just to show you guys, it shows you that it's here in PDF Expert, just so you guys could see it's here.
I have a question.
Yes.
Sonia, are you using iPhone? I'm sorry,
No,
Apple?
my iPad. I'm using my iPad.
Oh, you're using okay. So you're using an Apple instrument.
Yes. Yes. This is an Apple
Okay.
instrument. Yeah. So I'm using my iPad. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is I'm going to rename it, the document, so I know what it is. So I can put, you know, pre-approval Mr. Buyer, just so I know whose it is, and then select done. So now I renamed it and I know whose it is. So what I'll do is I'll tap on it. And again, if I tap on it, you see I can move it. I am going to put it up in Mr. Buyer's folder just by dragging it. And now it's in Mr. Buyer's folder. Okay, so I moved that file. So if you notice to the left on the top, it says my file. So I'm going to arrow back out because I want to get back out of there. But now that I know that Mr. Buyer is qualified, I'm going to keep all his stuff. So basically what I do is while I'm showing a qualified buyer, I have their folder on my screen of my iPad in PDF Expert. That's where I keep them. And the reason being is because it's very easily accessible. I can always go back to it. If I'm in another meeting, or if I'm waiting for someone else, or, you know, whatever it is, I can go back and I'll look through my buyers I'm working with, and then I'll either follow up or I'll take a look at, you know, other things. But it's just nice to, instead of carrying file folders around with you, you have your iPad. And so you have your mobile device, whichever it is, and you're able to, you know, to have all the information at hand. It's not like, oh shoot, you know what, I wish I would have had that file because I need it now. Or you don't have to ever have that doubt or that, you know, that, wow, you know, I could be doing something else, because you'll always have your documents with you. So once a buyer's pre-approved, naturally the next part is to show property, right? I mean, that's the next step. So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna go to, I just did a really quick search. So you're gonna go here, do a really quick search. And I just did a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you know, it's under 600,000 in Ranch Cucamonga, single family home. And I had 13 properties that came up that met my client's criteria. So now what I'm gonna do is, instead of printing them out, I mean, everyone does things differently. So, but for the most part, we print everything out so we can review it, you know, take a look at it and you know, make sure that the property is in fact available. But what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna get the results. Here are my results. I'm gonna select all of them, as long as all of them, you know, I'll review them from here really quickly, but if they all look pretty decent, then I'll select them all, or you can select the ones that you do in fact want to show. That's up to you. And then I'm gonna go down here to print. So down here at the blue toolbar, I'll hit print. And once I hit print, I want the agent full. And then I also want the multi-map. So I'm going to select both of those, the agent full and the multi-map. So that way what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select print to PDF. And when I select print to PDF, it now becomes a PDF document, right? So the next thing that I'm gonna do is, again, that arrow out, the square with the arrow out at the top right-hand side. I'm gonna tap that because I wanna take this document, you know, somewhere else. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna look for PDF Expert. I'm gonna find it on here. And once I find it, I will send it to PDF Expert. So now I have the properties that I wanna view in PDF Expert. Now, right now I have my laptop as, what is it, the long ways. If I were to flip it the other way, but I can't right now because of the class, but if I were to flip it the other way, then I would be able to see the whole page, because I have the 12 point something laptop, or I'm sorry, iPad. It's the largest one. And the reason I picked it is because it's like the size of a paper. So I don't have to zoom in or anything. Everything's pretty, you know, nice size, like if it was a piece of paper in front of me. So if you look at, you know, here's the MLS, which I'm sure everybody's familiar with. So when you take a look at this, you know, the nice thing about PDF Expert, and I'm going to show you the different things that you can do. So it tells me here, private remarks, buyers and agents to sign the coronavirus PED prior to entry and wear masks, gloves, and during showing. Okay, that's fine. Seller services, please, 5,000 deposit. So I'm looking at these things that matter. So if there's anything that I need to remind myself, or I need to let my client know about something, I can always tap on whatever verbiage that it is. And if you notice, it highlights it in blue. And then I can just tap for as long as I want or as little as I want. So that way I can see, okay, so this one, you know, they want the 5,000 in deposit, and maybe that's an issue, I don't know. But here, if you notice, when you tap on it, you get a black toolbar on top of it, and it's asking you, what do you want to do with what you're highlighting? So what I want to do is I actually want to highlight it. So that way it stands out. So now it's just like having a, you know, yellow highlighter. You're able to highlight any of the verbiage or anything that's important, like I said, so that way you're able to look at it at a glance. The other thing that you're able to do is, if you notice at the top, there is different pins. So you have the T, that would be for text. And then next to it, you have a pin, which I have it in white, but if you tap on it, you can select the color that you want. So let's say I want to select red because it's going to stand out, and it says by appointment only. So if I wanted to, I can circle it so that way I remember, or you can write on it. Let's just say, you know, you call, it says, you know, call agent, appointment only, showings between 11 and 7. So I call the agent, and we already know that every agent answers their phone, right? Yeah, we wish. So,
That's funny.
I'm sorry?
I say, yeah, that's funny.
I know.
I guess I'm the only one that answers.
I know. And it's, yeah, getting them to answer is like a miracle. But consider it your lucky day. You should play the lotto. But what happens now is, since, let's say I call this guy Roger, or even I text him, whatever it is, email him, and he doesn't reply, you can at that point write on here, and you can say, you know, like left message. You can put, you know, LM, or if you rather type it, you can type it anywhere here, and then just tap anywhere on the screen, and then you can put, you know, left message, you know, or what have you. And so then let's say you do that, you go on to the next person, and now you look at this one and you realize, oh, you know what, you can't show it, it's pending, but it still shows active. But when you call, they tell you it's pending. So then you can always, you know, put a line through it, and then you can put pending. So you know that that one's gone. You don't have to, you know, worry about that one. Then you're going to go on to the next property, and then do the same thing. You know, you're just going to go through them. But the nice thing about it is, now let's say, you know, you're trying to line up these showings, and now you're on to the next thing, because obviously, you know, you're on to your next appointment, or you're on to working on something else, or you're having a cocktail, whatever it is you do next, right? So now, you know, Roger calls you and says, hey, Aaliyah, you know what, go ahead and show the property between 5 and 6, you're good to go. But the combination is 555. Okay, let's just say. So now you're going to run back here, and I take my iPad everywhere I go. Everybody makes fun of me because I have my iPad everywhere, but it's for a reason. It's because to me, it's a, you know, it's my business, and everything is all in this iPad. So now that Roger called me, I'm going to go back here on the top next to the red pin. There's a red highlighter, which again, you can change colors. And next to that is an eraser. That's an eraser. So now I'm going to take off left message, because he called me back. So I'm going to take that off, and then I'm going to tap on the left message that I typed, and I'm going to delete it. And now he's telling me it's okay to go. So now I can tap back on it, text, and put okay to show, you know, 5 to 7 or whatever PM. So I know I'm good there. And he gave me a combination. So what I like to do, because when I'm showing properties, I have my iPad in front of me, and a lot of times your clients are kind of like right next to you. They're looking over your shoulder, you know, asking you questions and what have you. So just for safety, and, you know, just to make sure you're protecting, you know, the combination as much as possible, on the very top next to the eraser is a yellow, like square-ish kind of thing. And it has the 3 dots in it. So if I tap that, I'm going to tap on it. And if I tap on that, it's going to allow me to, and again, you can change the color if you want. It's a note. So I'm going to tap on the note. You can bring a note down here by tapping on this, and it'll say note. So there's your note. So I can put on here combo 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever it was that he told me it was, and then select done. And then if you notice, it's down here, the note, and you can put it anywhere.
Wow.
You can put it next to, you know, the address, or you can put it wherever you need, or you can, again, you can tap on it. So let's just say this, again, is just personal information. Let's just say he says, you know what, bring me a full price offer, or this is what my seller is willing to do. Then you just write your notes in here. That way, you know what it is, you know, because maybe your clients really like this, and you're like, okay, well, I know that there's some leeway here, or this is what the guy told me, or what have you. Or while you're at the property, you can take the notes as well, just so you have that information. Now, the other nice thing about doing this is, if you notice, if you go to the very top on the left-hand side, there's 4 corners. There's like 4 squares. I mean, you see the 4 squares. So if I tap the 4 squares, it allows me to view all of the documents at once. Okay, so we already know that this one is pending, and we're not going to show it. Oops, hold on. I'm sorry, I accidentally clicked out of it. But we already know that the property at Amplify Way is pending, so we're not going to show that one. So now I'm going to go down to the multi-map, and when I go down here to this multi-map, I'm going to find that, and that one's number 2. Okay, so that property is number 2. So I'm going to go on here to number 2, and I am going to write that it's pending. So I'll X out number 2, and then I'll just put pending here, or you can type it, whatever's neater for you. You can do whatever you prefer. But I look at the map up here, and here's number 2. So I'm going to X it out so I know I'm not going to show that property. Okay, so then now let's just say number 4 is not available either. Let's say they call back and they say, sorry, you can't show. So you can't show this one. So no show. So I'll know that I won't have to show number 4. So again, I'm going to mark off number 4. And it just helps me with my route, you know, depending on where my client's coming from or where I need to start. Having the multi-map allows you to view exactly where you're going to be going, especially when you're showing multiple properties. So you know how to time it, where to start, and where to end. So that's the whole purpose of that. And the reason why too, you could go back and redo, you know, your whole showings and remove these properties. But I'm telling you, I don't personally like to do that, because just as Jessica and I were talking about, homes fall out of escrow. You know, people, or you know, another thing is when you show up with your clients and you tell them, oh, we're not going to see this property or that property, they might ask you why, you know, or maybe you don't tell them what you're, you know, that you're not going to see, but then they're like, hey, you know, that house that on this property, on this street, and if you didn't include it, you might not remember. So here it's like, no, these are the ones that I called, and these are the ones are available, and these ones aren't available, and why. So that way they at least see, oh, okay, you tried, or what have you. But again, you're always documenting what you're doing. So what you can do is when you hit the 4 square, if you're not going to show this property because it's pending, you can bring it down here to the very end. You can just simply tap on it and move it so it's out of the way, and you know that you're not showing it. And then what you can also do is as you map it, then you can decide, okay, so this one is actually, I'm going to show this one first. So you can put maybe a 1 in the corner. And then you're going to say, okay, this one, I'm going to show third. So then you can put a 3 in the corner. You see what I'm saying? So then when you go here to look at it all as a whole, you're able to see, okay, this one I'm going to show. And so you can put this one first. I'm going to start here, you know, bring everything over with you so you know where you're starting. And then again, you just put them all in order of your search. And that way, when you show up to the property, you're ready to go. So you show up, you go back, and then here, like I told you, if you tap on the word, so it says report 417, you know, and some numbers. If you tap on that, you can delete that. So that way, again, make sure you name everything, and then you can put showings. You can name it Mr. Buyer, showings Mr. Buyer, or what have you, and then the date. So 06/10, or wait, 06/10/2020. Done. So again, it helps you keep track of the amount of homes you're showing, of what you showed. And again, maybe your clients really like one of the properties and it's taken, but you can always follow up on it. So you're going to drag it into the buyer's note, you know, into their notes. So that way, again, you have all their stuff together. So again, I'm going to go back just to show you. Now it's no longer on your home screen. It's filed away in their folder. So like I mentioned here, you show up, now you're showing the property, you're at the first home, and here you are showing this nice house on Grapevine Street. You know, you walk in and your clients are like, oh my gosh, I like this house. But you notice all of a sudden there's, you know, maybe a hole in the wall, or there's a weird sound, or there's a leak, or there's something that's weird. So you can make note of that, and you can choose to simply, like I showed you, write a note. You can take a photo So like, let's just say, for instance, I wanted to take a photo. All you do is tap on the screen, and then your black toolbar comes up, and then you want to select image, and then you can put take a photo. So what I'll do is I'm just going to pretend this is, so I'm going to take a photo here, use photo. And then when I use the photo, I can put it anywhere on the document here. And then maybe I can make a note about it and just say, stain on ceiling. I don't know. You know, you can, whatever it is that you see, stain on ceiling. Maybe the AC looks old, maybe something about the property, because we already know when we're showing multiple properties, sometimes it's hard for us to remember certain things. So you can, you know, take photos of it, and so that way you remember. Maybe there's a chandelier, maybe there's something that you want to make sure, you know, there's a water fountain. The agent doesn't make any notation about it being excluded or included, but your clients want to know, is that included? So again, you can take pictures, and that way you'll always remember when you go back to write your offer. Just go back to your MLS, any notes that you put on there, anything that you should remember, it, you know, is going to be written on here. Any concerns of the buyers, let's just say, you know, they're like, you know what, this is our top, one of our top, you know, picks. We do like this, but we want to make sure that they're going to, you know, do this, that they're going to that, or this or that. So you can, again, like I said, you can record on it. You can take notes. So if you wanted to record, you would simply, again, tap on it, and then you would do sound. If you see sound at the end, you're going to select sound, and you enable your, I guess my record's not, or my microphone's not enabled, but you would enable your microphone in your settings. And once it's enabled, what you do is you just tap on it and you record into it, and it stays on the MLS, this form, this sheet. So whichever home it's attached to. So let's just say, you know, you want to say something like, you know, I want to make sure that, you know, my clients really like this home, but they want to make sure that, you know, the air conditioning looks like it doesn't run, or maybe it's, you know, the wires are cut, or whatever the case is. Maybe the pool is dirty, whatever. Like I said, just, it's for reminder purposes, you know, just to help you. I find it very helpful to use PDF Expert when you do any type of inspection. If you are a property management, or if you, even if, like, let's say you're doing a final walkthrough, or maybe even in your repairs, sometimes it's nice to take pictures, and that way when you go to do your final walkthrough, or, you know, to make sure repairs are done, then you can give it to your clients and say, this is what we're inspecting, we're verifying, this is what it looked like before, this is what we're looking for now. We want to make sure that everything was done, you know, in a workmanlike manner, or to their, you know, to their liking. So you want to make sure that that those things are done. I'll tell you that I had an instance once where I had showed the property, my clients liked it, and there was, like, it was weird, like there was something on the kitchen cabinet that looked like it was sharp, and it looked like it was, you know, it was from the countertop. It was weird. And so I just took a picture of it, and right next to the counter was the stove. And like I said, I just took a picture, didn't think nothing of it. And what ended up happening was, when I went to do my final walkthrough, the stove was gone. And my client said, hey, Sonia, it wasn't the stove included in our purchase? And I looked at the contract and I said, yeah, you're absolutely right, it was. And so she's like, well, it's gone. So I called the agent and I said, hey, I'm just letting you know that the stove was removed, and it was part of the contract. And she said, are you sure it was part of the contract? I said, well, yeah, you know, take a look yourself. So she did, and she said, oh, you know what, you're right, it was part of the contract. Oh, Sonia, but it was an old stove anyways. Let me talk to my seller, we'll get back to you. So she calls me back and she says, oh, my seller will give you $100. And I'm like, $100? And she says, oh, it was used and old. So thankfully I had a picture of it, because had I not, I wouldn't have known how old it was, if it was, you know, the model or anything. But thankfully, like I mentioned, I had that picture. I was able to zoom in on it and see that the name of the model, the brand, and everything else. I had a clear picture of what it looked like. So I went to Lowe's, into Home Depot, and the stove was actually about an $800 stove. and it wasn't old. It was like manufactured like in 2 years ago. So when I sent her that, I told her my client wants $500. They don't want $100. They either want the stove back or they want $500, not $100. So because of that picture, we were able to get the $500. So that's why I'm telling you, a lot of times we don't realize some things, why, you know, they're important, or documenting certain things. But, you know, again, had I not done that, my client was upset. I'm like, they want to give you $100. He's like, are you kidding me? I can't buy a stove for $100, not even a used stove, you know. And it was a nice one. It was a really nice one. So again, just going back to, it's important to, you know, to document. And I know a lot of times, you know, we're in a hurry, you know, we have all the MLS sheets in our hand and we're just like, okay, what home do you like? What home do you like? You're just, you know, we're in a hurry. But again, we're the professionals. We need to be looking out for our clients. We need to create less work for ourselves. And this is one of the reasons why I use this religiously, because it does allow me to kind of be in multiple places at the same time, as I like to say it, because a lot of times, again, you're maybe here with this client and then you get a call from an agent who says, hey, you know what, you showed my property, it was pending, but now it's back available. You're like, I don't remember what house that was. I don't know what you're talking about. And so now you're able to, you know, go into that buyer and look through the MLS sheets and say, oh my God, yes, I remember showing that they did like this house, or what have you. So again, it just makes life so much easier for yourself when you have it this way, because you can, like I said, always go back and reference, you know, whatever it was that you did. And also it allows you to measure how much time you're spending with your clients. You know, how many homes have you showed? What are they saying? You know, sometimes we get those buyers that are, you know, they're not, I mean, I don't want to say unrealistic, but, you know, they're all different. But some of them are saying, oh, I like this, but I don't like that. Oh, I like this and I don't like that. So, you know, it's important for us to take note of that, because we don't want to just be, you know, a tour guide and just showing all these properties. We want to find them the one. So in order to do that, it's like, okay, what, you know, you're able to look at it later and say, okay, what is it? They didn't like this because of this. Okay, so next time I'm not going to show this, or whatever the case is. It'll allow you to maybe do a little bit more searching or digging, so that way you can find them, you know, the right home that they're looking for. And then the other thing is, the other nice thing about having the PDF expert, like I was mentioning, is you can store documents. So let's just say, for instance, if I go back here, I'm going to go back to my files, to my front screen again. So when I'm here, you can, if you notice, like I said, on the left-hand side, there is, I have different Dropbox accounts connected. So if I go down here, let's just say I select here, I have, this is in Dropbox. So this is all created in Dropbox, these files. So this is not in PDF Expert, it's actually Dropbox. But when I link it, Dropbox actually talks to it. So the nice thing about this is I can have, like, for instance, I have my closed transactions in here from 2019. If you notice, I have my closed transactions from 2018 here. And the nice thing about this is, and I'll give you an example. I was showing property and I had a client call me and she says, hey, Sonia, you know what? We closed escrow, you know, whenever, and I need a copy of my closing statement. I don't know what I did with it and I can't find it. Is there any way you can get it for me? So typically what happens at this point, it's like, okay, who was your escrow? How fast is escrow going to get it to you? Or do you have it somewhere in a file somewhere? Where is that file? So that's what I'm saying. So I keep my transactions up to the last 3 years on my iPad. So that way she calls me and says, I need my closing statement. I'll open this up. I'll find, you know, the property address. And then I can say, okay, here's this. And then here's everything that I did on that transaction. So here's, if she even had a question, hey, on the home inspection, Sonia, this, that, or the other, it's like, this is what they did, or this is not what they did, or whatever. The termite, here's who your termite company was. So I keep everything in one place. And so, like I said, when she called me and said, hey, I need a copy of my final HUD, I told her, okay, I'm driving right now. Give me 10 minutes. I'm about to pull over. I can send it to you. So I opened the door for my clients while they're looking at the property. I was able to send her HUD within 10, 15 minutes from her call, which that is, you know, again, that is not easy to do if you don't have it with you. And what I tell agents is anybody can be ordinary. Anybody can. But to be extraordinary, you have to do certain things that are going to put you, you know, above everything else. So do you think that she, you know, was excited because she was like, oh my God, thank you. I didn't expect, you know, you to send it to me so quickly and what have you. But again, the other good thing about having this too, like this, is you're able to keep in touch and make sure that you're, you know, you're following up. Your clients all should be in your CRM, but this also helps you to go back and to maybe look at certain things. Like I said, you have all the documents, you have everything that you need here. So it just, again, makes it easier. So the nice thing about having it connected, like I'm saying to PDF Expert, is you can, once Mr. Buyer is in escrow here, I can take him into Dropbox. So that way now his file is in, because now he's a transaction. So now that he's a transaction, yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to interrupt you. There is a question. Can pictures from your camera roll go into Mr. Buyer's folder?
Yes. Yes.
Got it. And then
Yes.
somebody else asked before, how do you generate a multi-map? Or is that a different class?
No, that's actually on, so I'll go back really quick to show you. That's actually here on in the matrix, in the MLS. So if you're here, if you notice, it says right here, multi-map. So when you go to, when you select the properties that you want, you select multi-map along with the, what do you call it? Whatever you want, the agent one page, agent short, agent full. So you select both of them to take them into PDF Expert.
Got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Also, somebody asked, are those the forms we have on BrokerMint?
What
Ollie,
forms?
I'm not sure.
What forms?
That was from Ollie.
Yeah, the forms that you were just putting in the folder, you know how your buyer needed that form from a past transaction, are basically those all the documents that we would have stored through BrokerMint during the transaction?
Yes, they are in, they should be in BrokerMint. You know, in order for you to get paid, you have to upload them. The only thing the only reason why I do, it's kind of, you would say that it's kind of not, it's not double, but I do it that way. We actually do it a little bit different now that I have Jessica there, but this is the way when I didn't have an assistant to do, you know, majority of my transaction, then this is how I ran it as an agent. And it was very helpful to me because I don't know the duration and how long they keep the file. And I didn't want to rely on anyone else other than myself.
You know,
So-
I totally love it, but I just wanted to make sure that, for example, when
Yes.
I'm in escrow, certain things get uploaded to BrokerMint, and then I automatically would save them to this.
Yes, exactly. So I save them to this, and then once they go, like for you, Aaliyah, I know you have a TC. All you have to do is create a Dropbox and just tell her upload everything, you know, into the Dropbox, and then it's easy to upload it to BrokerMint. And that was why too I did it that way. It makes it so simple just to transfer everything.
Great idea.
But the
Thank
nice
you.
thing about it, yeah, is you have access, you know, as long as you need it. So that's what makes it really, really, and it keeps all of your stuff, you know, in one place. So that's kind of why I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So did you guys see how to do the multi-map? You guys are good with that?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And let me go back here. So again, being in PDF Expert, there's, let's see. So learning how, you can also, so what I do is when my clients sign the offer, because obviously time is of the essence. It's the absolute essence to get these offers out right now. You have to be sending these offers immediately because of the multiple offer situation, and just, you want to, like, again, you want to stand out. You definitely want to stand out. So what you can do is once you sign the offer, I bring it in here to PDF Expert. So once they sign it, I email it to myself, or I will download it as a PDF, and I can show you that. So here, if I go into my car forms and I get, like, let's just say, I'm just gonna pretend we signed this offer right now. So you can sign it on your iPad if you want, or you can, you know, they could have signed it via Zip Logic or DocuSign in front of you. Like I said, to me, I like showing them both ways, because in case we get counters or anything else, I don't want to have to run to, you know, get that signature for them. So I do like to show them how to use DocuSign or Zip Logic on their phones or their devices, whatever it is that they use. So that way they are efficient on it, and I don't have to worry about guiding them through it step by step when I'm not there, because I think it makes it a little bit harder. So let's just say, for instance, here's this one I have. So on this particular property, this client signed their offer DocuSign. So if I go down here and here's the purchase agreement that they signed. So I personally don't sign through DocuSign when I do my offers, because I already know that I am going to send it out from PDF Expert. So I take it there to sign. You can sign it through DocuSign. There's no right or wrong way. It's just a preference that I choose not to use. So if you notice, it's signed by him, but it's not signed by me. So I'm gonna select download at the top. And then it's gonna tell me click to download the PDF. And yes, I want it as PDF. So here I go to PDF. And then it asks me down here, open in PDF Expert. Now, if that wasn't there, it's there because it knows that's where I always take it. Apple's smart. It's reading my mind. But let's say you use other apps, then you would just hit more and then it'll find it for you. But here, because it knows that's where I want it, it's taking it there. So here's the offer. And obviously I'm gonna go through it and sign where it is that I need to sign. So if I just tap where my name goes, I'm gonna select signature, and I've already signed. So my signature is already built in. My signature is not gonna move. Now, if I didn't want that signature, I could always, again, tap, signature, and then I can put create new signature. So then I just sign it. So then I would just sign it. You can select color at the top here, if I wanted it in blue, and then you can select thickness. So if I don't want it so thick, I can change it, and it'll make it thinner, the letters. So if I did that, it'll make it thinner. So I could put save, and let's just say I'd rather have that signature. So I'm gonna leave that signature there. I'll tap where date is, and then I can text the date. So I'm gonna change it because I don't want it in red. So I can change it to blue or whatever color that you prefer. And then the size and the font and everything else. So I'll just put 610 2020. And then if I tap on it, I can move it as well if I don't like where it is. So I can move it there. So then I'll keep going and then seeing where else I need to sign. Same thing. So I'll just tap signature. My signature's there. Boom. And then again, date. So I can text 06/10/2020. And then the same thing. I could do the same thing. Or you could even copy and paste it if I want to. So if I do it once, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to have to keep writing the date. So then I'll just keep pasting it and make it easier for me too. Then I'll go down, make sure everything else, is completed and done the way it should be. And then again, I'll go to the very last page where my signature is also required. Sign that signature. And you can move it, you can make it smaller, bigger, whichever you prefer. And then here, I'm gonna paste it again since I already had it there.
Sonia, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Why would you choose this option over ZipLogix, where you just click and it seems like more
to me,
time?
I don't know. It's like I said, for me, it's always been a preference. It's just a preference. You can do whatever you're used to doing and whatever is the most, simplest for you. But for me, I've always preferred to actually sign it than to do it that way. So that's just my, that's
so
just
there's
my
no
preference.
other, okay, so there's no other technical reason behind it. It's just, okay.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing at all. It's so once but I know I'm going to bring it in here. And the reason I know I'm going to do that is because now I need to get the offer ready to be sent. So what I'm going to do is I will copy and paste the address. Okay, so I'm going to copy, and then I will go back, and then I'm going to rename this document here. So then I will go back and then paste it. And that way now it's, hold on a second. So 48407. So then I will save it there. So that way I know that that's the address. And then, like I told you, I'm going to drag it into the buyer's folder. So now that it's into the buyer's folder, there's my offer. So right now, if I wanted to, I could send the offer along with the pre-approval. So I can select on the right-hand corner, select, and then on the left-hand side, there's a square with the arrow up, which is that means I can, where do I want to send it? So I can decide if I want to mail it out like that. And if you notice, it'll mail out, you know, the two documents. But personally, and as a listing agent, I prefer to send everything in one document. So what I would actually do is I'm not going to select each that way. What I'll do is I will open up the pre-approval with the 4 square so I could see everything. I have, you know, my pre-approval letter, my DU, my proof of funds, and my FICOs. So I will open this up. On the right, I will select, and then on the left, I'm going to select all pages because I want every single one of them. And then I'm going to say, I want to copy these. I want a copy of them. So I'm going to close it back up, go back, open up my offer, do the 4 square, and once I open this up, I'm going to select paste because now I want to put this the pre-approval, and I'll drag it to where I want it to go, and I'm going to select paste. So I just tap the screen, and now it pastes the pre-approval. So now it's one PDF. Did you see how I did that?
Yes.
I love
Okay.
that.
Yeah, so I didn't have to print. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I didn't have to print. I didn't have to
Yeah.
scan. I didn't have to do anything. All I did was take all my documents into PDF Expert, and you're able to arrange, you're able to sign, you're able to annotate, you're able to do everything that you need. And the other thing that I do typically is I will do a cover letter for my clients as well. So just to show you really quick, I go into pages and I have templates for everything. So that's already templated, you know, there's a template already done. So basically what I'm going to do is I'll go down here and find, here's one, for instance, I did, and it's just on an offer that I sent. And so what I do is if I'm not going to do a buyer letter, then I'll include my client's picture here at the bottom so they can see who they are. I will do a client letter as well. I'm trying to find where my last one was, but I don't see it. But I will do that as well. So that way I'll include both the letter and also, you know, like here's like a letter, for instance, like a photo letter that I did with my clients, you know, to the homeowner. So if I do this, then I'll take it out and I'll export it as a PDF. And then I'll put it into my pages. To my PDF Expert. So I'm going to go to PDF Expert. And then once I'm in PDF Expert, here it is again. So I'm going to 4 square it, select, and then I'm going to copy it, close, go back, and then I'm going to go to my offer, which is here. And then I'm going to 4 square again, and then I'm going to paste now. So now I'm going to paste it, but I don't want it at the end. I want it at the very top. So I want it here. So I'm going to close it. So now this is what it starts with. But again, I prefer to have my my cover letter, which on this one you can see, here's a cover letter. I'll show you. So here's my cover letter for this one. So I prefer to have my cover letter at the very first, and then I send out my offer. But all I do is put it all together in one, and now my offer can be sent. So all I do is hit the 3 dots there, email, and then you always want to do it as a flattened copy, so that way if you did sign your contract or any annotations you made, they stick to the file. And then I will just mail it out here from my email. And then you put in, you know, the agent's information, maybe write something really quick, you know, to the agent saying, you know, here's my offer, or what have you, you know, whatever it is you want to get across. But typically once you have practice, you can pretty much send the offer within 10 minutes. I mean, and that's even a long time. Once it's signed, it's pretty quick because you have everything where it should be, everything's organized, and you're able to send it, you know, to where it needs to go. And then you're done. So the nice thing about this is, and what I truly believe about this is, if I'm out there spending my Saturday or my Sunday with clients showing property, I want to make it the most use of my time. Now, we already know how it goes. We're out there, let's say 10, 11, 12 on Saturday, but we want to hurry up and get back because we have a birthday party, or we want family time, or we have other things to do. So when you get home, are you going to work on the offer immediately? Or are you going to, oh, I'll just send it later. I'll just do it later. So here, if you do it as soon as you know, whether they're in the property because it's vacant, you can send it right away. Or even if it's occupied but nobody's there, you can send it, or you can go to your car, let your clients leave, and you can send it and you can drive off and know you're done. Now you can call the agent. I just left your property. I just sent you an offer. You know, you know, here's this, that, or whatever. You can talk to them and discuss it, or, you know, do whatever you need to do, but it's done. So you're done. So that's one of the reasons why I am obsessed with my iPad. So does anybody have any questions? Let me go back here.
I'm sold.
I really
not
need to
me.
get everything on my iPad. I love this.
Oh,
Yes, it is a game changer. Let me tell you.
And I take my iPad with me so that I could navigate the directions when I'm showing property, but never thought that I could do everything else on it.
Yes.
This is
It
certainly a
is.
game changer. Thank you.
Yes. No, and like I said, I highly recommend that you play with it. You know, you have to play with it. It's just one of those things where you'll get used to it. You're gonna, you know, I was very slow at first,
Right.
but I mean, I use it all the time now. And like I said, the nice thing about it is everything is in one spot. And I'm guilty. You know, I know that we're all over the place. And let's just say another buyer calls you. You're able to create another folder, and just, it's a constant, because I'm always in PDF Expert. So it's a constant reminder, I need to follow up with this person, or I need to do this, or I need to do that, whatever it is. You can create your to-do list in there. You can do so many things. You can upload any PDF to there and do anything. So
Wow.
I keep a lot of my marketing in there. So let's say I come across a certain client that has certain specific needs. I can email them or text it to them immediately. And it's not, oh shoot, I gotta go and find where I have that marketing piece, or it's nothing like that. Everything is personalized. I believe in personalizing things for people, because I think they think, you know, you worked a little bit harder for it, but it's actually not that difficult when you do it, because you have everything, like I said, templated. You just got to get used to it. So,
Wow.
does anybody have any other questions? No, we're good.
I got a lot of tips that I didn't know, and now I know.
That's good.
This is great.
Oh yeah.
That's good. I'm glad. Like I said, I know a lot of people run from it and they don't believe in it, but I'm telling you, it's, you know, I don't have the need to print or to do anything, because like I said, again, let's just say, you know, a lot of times agents aren't prepared. So when a client wants to write an offer, it's either you follow me back to my office or to a Starbucks or to somewhere. but it's
Right.
always an inconvenience. To me, I just want to I want to move on for my day. You know, I don't want to go and spend another hour or two discussing more things. It's like, I'm ready to go. I want to go on to the next thing. And so I want to make sure that my time was used as you know, efficient as possible. So
Right.
again, that's the one of the benefits, one of the many. So
Perfect, perfect. I downloaded it since we've been on this Zoom to my iPad and my phone. I
Okay,
had no
good.
idea it was free.
yeah, so I don't think you need the
Thanks.
pro version. I don't really see the need for it, to be honest. I think you're
Mhm.
fine with just the regular version. And like I said, I
If
don't
you're
know how.
disorganized on the regular one, yeah, you're right. I don't see a need for the pro.
Yeah, you don't
Wow.
need the pro. And the thing about this too is it helps you to stay organized.
Yes.
You know, you have to file your stuff away as soon as you know, put it
I
on the
just
desktop.
went through this. I just went through this yesterday with an offer and had to go to 3 different places to try and find the documents that I needed and did not have the capacity to put everything in one file. So I'm attaching 7 files to an email that I got to go in different places to get it. And that drives me nuts.
Yes, and exactly, and that's why I'm saying that as soon as you get anything related to that buyer, you just put it in their
Right.
file. You put it in their file,
file.
and you can, yeah.
Mm. Wonderful. Thank you,
so much,
Sonia.
Sonia.
Okay, you're welcome, you guys. Have a beautiful day,
Great.
and
Thank
You
you.
Too.
we'll see you guys real soon, okay?
Okay.
Looking forward
Okay,
to 2 o'clock.
I know. Okay, have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.